Year, 2009 season, fall month, October date, 22 state, Indiana County, Monroe County location details. Back on windy roads. If not familiar with the area, it will be very difficult to find. Nearest town, city Bloomington. Monroe County nearest road, South Fairfax Road. Observed. Hey, I just happened to stumble upon this website. Last year, October 24th, 2009. Me, my friend, and his dad were waterfowl hunting on Monroe Lake, in Monroe County. We were set up on a peninsula on the farthest point with two small bays behind us to our right and left. We have gone to the peninsula before multiple times to waterfowl hunt. And we went out early morning when it was still dark. Everything was normal. No birds flying though. So we were just sitting on our collapsible chairs facing the water looking. By this time it was about 5 minutes after sunrise, so still pretty dark. It was my friend on my right and his dad on my left. Since we were shooting shotguns, they were loud, so I had earplugs in. And then this extremely loud roar, moan comes from the right bay. The moment I heard it, I thought it was a dog, but it kept going and got even louder and then dropped to a very low moan, growl. The roar, moan lasted about 8 to 10 seconds. Keep in mind I had earplugs in and I still heard that noise crystal clear. We all three stood up and just stood facing the other side of the right bay and didn't see anything. Only a beaver in the middle of the bay. The bay was about 60 yards across. Me and my friend were terrified and had no idea what made that noise. Not paying attention to hunting, we stood there scared to death. Now I need to emphasize the loudness of the roar. It was extremely loud. And I looked over to my friend about 2 minutes after the first noise. And I said, man, I wish we could hear it again. What do you know? We hear it again, but it sounded much farther away. And sounded the exact same as the first noise. We were shocked. Now, us being hunters, we knew just about any Indiana wildlife there is to know about and all the noises they make. And what we heard that day was nothing like I have ever heard in my life. So then, not hunting any longer, we remained standing there facing the right bay listening. We don't hear anything else. We didn't see any birds flying that whole morning, so about 12 noon, we pack up and start to walk back to where our car was parked, about a 5 minutes walk with the gear, so about 300 yards away. The path we took that morning was on the bank of the right bay. As you would think, we kept our shotguns loaded on our walk back to the car. We pack up and get on our way. The spot we were in was not very populated at all. There was a DNR check station about a mile down the road and some houses on the windy road back to Bloomington. Now, if you know anything about Monroe or is how hilly it is, and the questions we kept asking ourselves was, what was that noise? And how could it have traveled so quick to hear Aegean so far away? Our guesses we made were, beard owl, mule deer, dog, some sort of bear. But we all quickly ruled out of those. The closest was the dog. But the roar, moan was so loud and the last 3 seconds dropped to a low growl, mumble, and no dog could make that loud of a howl of any sort. It wasn't till about halfway through the 2-hour drive home to Indianapolis that my friend's dad said it could have been some college kids joking around since it was around Halloween with a megaphone. But then we said, why would college kids be up at 630, go deep into Monroe Forest, find 3 hunters in complete camouflage and make that noise? Just none of our guesses were making sense with that noise we heard. It's not till we got back to my friend's house and got on the computer and immediately started looking up moans and roars. None matched. We tried every animal noise in Indiana, and then we were on YouTube and a video popped up. The title said Bigfoot noises and pictures. That's when me and my friend looked at each other and said, oh my god. Quickly clicking on the video, a picture of so-called Bigfoot showed up and then audio started. The noise on the video was EXACTILY, the same noise we hear that morning hunting. Then we go to another Bigfoot recording. It was very similar to what we heard, and another, and all the videos we listened to matched up just right with what we heard or very close to what we heard. Now before this incident we would always make fun of the Bigfoot TV shows and the people who believe in Bigfoot. But I do not make fun of that anymore. Me and my friend still talk about it today, about what we heard on October 22, 2009. Me and my friend are both believers of Bigfoot. Or not Bigfoot, but some unknown creature that is out there and no one can seem to pinpoint what it is, so they use the name Bigfoot. We never did go back to the peninsula on Monroe Lake that hunting year. But we did go back in October again this year to the same exact spot. We didn't hear anything, but that time we didn't go back to the spot across the right bay to where we heard it and found no sign of anything out of the ordinary. It still remains a mystery of could have made that noise, but as of now me and my friend both say what we heard was Bigfoot. All I have said is completely true. I hope this was worth reading. If you have any questions or comments on this, my email is removed. I would actually like if you did respond to this so I can hear what you guys have to say about my story. Thanks. Also noticed there was a beaver in the lake about 40 yards out, refuses to go back to land after the noise. It was just bobbing up and down in the water, almost scared. Other witnesses. 2 other witnesses, my best friend and his dad, they were both hunting side by side next to me. Other stories. 1 other. On this website, all it said was there was a sighting back in early 2009 in Monroe County. Time and conditions. It was about 5 minutes after sunrise. It was cloudy with a very little wind. It was about 35 to 40 degrees. There was a small haze over the water. No recent rains or storms before the incipient environment. Densely wooded, very hilly, small creeks run through the air. Large lake. A lot of gemstone rocks in the creek beds. Follow-up investigation report by BFRO investigator Eric Lester. I spoke with the witness about what he heard that day. He and 2 others were out duck hunting and had been in the area about 45 minutes when they heard the first of 2 long, loud moan howls. What stuck out most to all 3 of the hunters was the sheer volume of the vocalization. He said it kept increasing in volume until the very end, when it quieted to a low, subtle roar. The first vocalization came from a ridge about 75 yards away from them across a bay. The second came from much further away, about 5 minutes later, and was exactly like the first. Given the hilly, forested terrain of the area, they feel the creature was moving relatively fast to get to the point where the second howl had sounded out from, if it indeed was one creature making both vocalizations. Lake Monroe is the largest lake in Indiana and is surrounded by more than 13,000 acres of protected forest. Monroe County has a number of reports included on the BFRO website. The report the witness referred to is report number 25,658.